I always love a little trumpet intro. Good evening, everyone. Tonight we celebrate the 24th Annual Louisiana Young Heroes Award. I'm Beth Courtney, President of Louisiana Public Broadcasting, and we are so pleased to be streaming across the state of Louisiana. There is always debate among our selection committee on just what is a Louisiana Young Hero. But everyone seems to agree. More than anything, it's the tenacity, creativity, and strength of human character that makes these young people stand out. For the fourth year, we're streaming at lpb.org/live, so anyone may join this celebration. I would now like to introduce my co-hosts, Young Heroes Committee co-chairs, Lauren and Blake Fowler.
Thank you, Beth. Tonight, we are pleased to celebrate this year's Louisiana Young Heroes. These young men and women bring the distinguished list to a total of 198 Young Hero recipients.
It takes so many individuals and companies to help make this day and this program a success, and we would like to recognize our major sponsors at this time.
Our platinum sponsors, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana and Southern Lifestyle Development. Our gold sponsors, Acadian Companies, Community Coffee, Hancock Whitney Bank, and Neighbors Federal Credit Union. Our silver sponsors, Baton Rouge Physical Therapy Lake, Capital One, Cristo Rey Baton Rouge Franciscan High School, Cook Law Firm, Lamar Advertising, Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady University, ExxonMobil, JP Morgan Chase, Document Logistics, NFP, Phelps Dunbar, Luba Workers Comp, and Walters Papillon Thomas Collins LLC. And our bronze sponsors, Exit Realty Group, Home Bank NA, LaCour's Carpet World, Lipsy's, Tom Wagaspack, and Susan East Nelson, Attorney at Law.
A complete list of the donations made by companies and individuals is included in your program. Thank you for your continued support. Your help allows us to highlight the achievements of these remarkable young people.
The Rotary Club of Baton Rouge and Louisiana Public Broadcasting have worked together on Louisiana Young Heroes for 23 of the 24 years that the program has been in existence. It's a true labor of love and a big commitment to be a part of the group that puts on the Young Heroes event. Would all of the fabulous, wonderful, incredible Young Heroes Committee members please stand at this time? Thank you guys for all that you have done.
To make this day special, our recipients, we also depend on a dedicated group of Rotarian mentors who coordinate with each young hero and their families leading up to this celebration. This relationship creates a networking opportunity for each of these children with a lasting impact. Would our 2019 mentors please stand?
We'd also like to give a special thanks to Sherry Macbeth and Christy Hicks of our Rotary staff who ensure that Louisiana Young Heroes Day and Banquet are always fabulous. I know you guys are here. Can you guys please wave in the back? Thank y'all so much for all that you do for us. We want to make sure we include the many members of the staff of LPB who continue to make the Louisiana Young Heroes Day happen. Let's give them a round of applause as well. And you guys, please wave where you are. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Blake. As the state's most trusted source for educational content, LPB is in a unique position to hear about Louisiana's amazing young people and to share their inspirational stories with the world. The Rotary Club of Baton Rouge is one of the largest Rotary clubs in the world. It's made up of more than 500 business and professional leaders from around the capital city. This strong partnership between LPB and the Rotary Club of Baton Rouge demonstrates the support for our state's young heroes and the promise for their future. Tonight's ceremony is the final step in a long, exciting 48 hours for our young heroes. And here's some of what they've been up to since arriving in Baton Rouge. Our 2019 Louisiana Young Heroes met last night and rolled up their sleeves and got to work to help local charity Baskets of Hope. They were recognized at LPB this morning by Baton Rouge Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome.
You talk about a way to be inspired on a Monday morning. Come to an event like this.
After a tour of LPB and some fun photo ops, the young heroes traveled to LSU for a tour of Tiger Stadium and then on to the LSU Center for River Studies. From the water campus, our young heroes traveled to the old governor's mansion, where they heard inspiring words from Community Coffee's Matt Siraj.
You will love all and serve all. It's in your heart. It's what you do. Making decisions where to focus and how to execute it. Some of the greatest decisions you'll make in your life.
The Young Hero proclamations from Governor John Bel Edwards were distributed, and then our group was surprised by all the gifts they were receiving, including a new laptop computer.
A special thank you to Mayor Sharon Weston Broome, who welcomed our young heroes this morning at LPB. We'd also like to thank Community Coffee CEO and Chairman Mr. Matt Siraj, who is also joining us tonight, for attending our luncheon today at the Old Governor's Mansion. He gave some incredible and inspirational words of wisdom to our young heroes, so thank you very much. And now what we've all been waiting for, without any further ado, our 2019 Louisiana Young Heroes. His nickname around Vidalia High School is POTUS, which stands for President of the United States. Because many people feel the White House is exactly where he's headed. He is described as a mentor, a leader, a problem solver, and a thinker. It sounds pretty presidential to me.
Deondrais Boxley is a super kid. He's smart. He's given. I've never seen him in a bad mood, and he will help anybody out that he can.
Deondrais Boxley is my friend, and he's been my friend for as long as I can remember. We basically grew up in school together. We've always competed for the highest GPA.
Deon is a junior here at Vidalia High School. He also is the state president for Louisiana DECA. Deondrais is like a mentor for a lot of students here at Vidalia High School within his grade as well as the lower grades.
When I think of Deondrais, I think of someone who has great expectations. He has that role of what you call a true leader. And I guess you could tie it into him being that young hero. He's a problem solver. He's a critical thinker. He actually goes the extra mile to assist those, even though at times I hear about his struggles, but his struggles alone makes him the person that he is today.
I know he was diagnosed with epilepsy when he was a young child. When Deon was young, he was put in foster care, and then his grandmother adopted him, and he's lived with his grandmother since.
I've always known him to be just very caring about other people, and I think that it has something to do with his childhood, about how he was raised up and brought up, and he learned to be different than that.
He does youth pastor work at his church, and he is the president of Louisiana DECA, and he also volunteers for cleanup and mentors at the lower elementary school.
Heroes take their challenges, and they put forth effort to assist those who have challenges themselves.
And one of his biggest things is that he wants to be an oncologist. And his desire is to go to medical school. He wants to come back to his community here in Vidalia to offer those services to those that are less fortunate to be able to provide for themselves the expense and cost of having cancer.
Well, based on everything that he's been through and how he's been brought up and just how he struggled and got past all those struggles and become the president of DECA, president of our class, had the highest GPA, I just think that he deserves it.
Because anytime a young individual can come back from setbacks and encourage others to do the same, that's very deserving.
Heroes rescue others, and that's what makes him a hero.
Here with us from Vidalia High School, where he's a junior, ladies and gentlemen, Deondrais Boxley.
Deon, I am looking at these. Wow, look at your shoes.
Thank you, Ms. Beth.
Tell us about those shoes.
Well, these are actually some of my prom shoes that I wore last year.
Okay.
And I just kept them. I liked them.
Well, I like them. Okay, so POTUS, you are POTUS. What's the first thing you would want to do?
As POTUS?
Yes.
Well, definitely try and to help with the poverty, especially in Louisiana. And knowing after today, I just found out that we were losing land in Louisiana, a lot of it. So definitely create some programs to help establish and reform those islands that we're losing in Louisiana.
So you went to see on the water campus the whole South Louisiana, and so you're from Vidalia,
right?
So you learned some new things today, did you?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you learn?
Well, for one, like I just said, the land loss. I did not realize that we was losing this much land. And as I noticed in Vidalia, the river is very high, and we was close to a flood. But luckily, it's going back down slowly, but it is. So I think we'll be okay.
I loved what one of your nominators said, that heroes rescue people.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel a responsibility to rescue others?
Absolutely. And like in November, I went to Forest Day Baptist Church, and I was able to tell my life story to influence younger people about how you can have your life challenges, but don't let them set you back. As in, like I told them, use those as stepping stones and stand tall on top of all those challenges that you've had in the past years.
So we heard some advice today from a CEO of a company, and he said, know what your values are. What are some of your core values?
Some of my core values would definitely be, I was talking to my mentor, and he was telling me how you really don't need to say leader. Instead, I would be considered an influencer, as Mr. Daniel said, because a leader actually influences others. And so I definitely think that would be one of my core values, an influencer.
Well, tell us where you're going next. What's your next step forward?
Next step forward is to definitely graduate high school first.
Good.
And then most likely attend LSU for biomedical engineering, and then furtherly go into medical school for oncology.
And then maybe go back to Vidalia?
Definitely go back to Vidalia. I plan after, I'm going to give 10 years. After 10 years, I go back to Vidalia and open up a clinic, a free clinic, and help the poverty.
Well, congratulations. We
Thank
are
you, Ms.
so
Beth.
proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
Driven, 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 and driven. This is how a lot of people describe our next Louisiana young hero. She would probably describe herself as a normal teenager, but she's overcome a lot in her life that might have slowed many down, and she's not letting up anytime soon.
She is an incredibly determined and driven young lady. I have never seen anyone that honestly has never had an excuse. She's one of the few that has never missed turning in any kind of assignments or anything, regardless of the extracurricular activities that she's been involved in, which are many.
Sydney had to deal with more
and the life that she's lived so far than most people do in a lifetime.
Sydney just feels like an ordinary person. That's the way she wants you to see her. But she reaches out to others. She is a great student.
I realize she's a really competitive, hardworking person, and she tries her best at everything.
Sydney was born with a heart condition, and she was diagnosed at 2 months old. And her valve was deformed, but hers did start wearing out around the time she was 13.
I know she told me stories from when she was little, how she wanted to play softball, but she had to sit out a lot because of her heart condition. And a lot of people treated her differently because of it.
You wouldn't know. I mean, to look at her and to watch her and to achieving her dreams and really going for the gusto, you wouldn't know that she's had any kind of trials, you know, with her heart.
Sydney's always been a very motivated person in life and in school. She's, being a mom and her teacher, she's always completing her work on time. It's always very meticulous and neat.
She was part of the heart run. You know, I don't like to run, and I told her that, and she goes, well, I really didn't run, I walked.
She is the student council president this year, and she has been a member of student council for all 4 years. She is class president this year, the senior class, which she has been for every year since she was a freshman. She's a member of Beta Club, she's a member of FCS, she's a member of YVC, which is the Youth Volunteer Corps. She is a member of the Spanish Club.
I have one word for her, just driven. Driven. Nothing stands in her way. Any obstacle that comes towards her, she will overcome.
She's a very caring and understanding person, and she deserves this reward 100%.
She's going to be the first person to tell you, yes, I'll do that. She doesn't ever tell anybody no. If somebody needs help or if they need somebody to volunteer, she's always the first person there.
She is going to be her best self every single day, regardless of what comes at her. And to me, that's part of being a hero.
From Rapides High School, where she's a senior, ladies and gentlemen, Sydney Lewis.
Put it there. Sydney, 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 driven. Driven. Do you think that's an accurate way to describe you?
I think so. I'm very competitive.
All right. So you're very competitive, and you are going on, is it a scholarship?
Yes,
to
ma'am.
play softball at Northwestern. Wow. She said, we were chatting ahead of time, and you can talk a lot about softball. Wow. How long have you been playing?
Since I was 4 or 5.
All right. And what does it mean to you when why do you think you are driven? What do you think motivates you?
Because my parents made me that way.
Oh, well, that's a good reason. That's a good reason. So where do you think you're going to take that competitive nature? So 10 years from now, where do you think you're going to be?
Well, hopefully I will have a job in the medical field, and I will use my competitiveness to do something great. I don't know what it is, but it'll be great.
But it'll be great. Yes. So you have a wonderfully supportive family, I can tell. Tell us, is there somebody you'd like to thank for allowing you to be here? If they force you to be driven, is there something you'd like to say to your family?
Thank you for pushing me to be my best self. They've always created opportunities for me, whether it be with my health or sports or just through everyday life.
You got a little teary-eyed when you saw them speaking.
I'm very emotional. I'm not surprised that I cried at all.
What's today been like for you?
It was amazing. This opportunity has been great. I got to see a lot of things that not everyday people get to see. So,
what did you like best about today?
Probably going to LPB because growing up I watched a lot of PBS Kids, so it was cool to see where that came from.
Oh. I didn't put them up to it, I would tell you. I am so interested that we were talking about how girls now are very competitive in the sports world. Are a lot of your friends like that as well?
Yes, a lot of my friends are softball friends, so I have friends from all over the place, and we still keep connections.
So you really went through a very tough operation, didn't you?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
did you, looking back on it, is there something you could share with some other teenager who maybe is facing some difficulty with their health?
Make the most out of every moment. My dad always enforces this, and he tells me to play every game like it's my last, and I think I've really carried that over into everyday life.
What a wonderful thing. I think that's very heroic. Congratulations to you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Our youngest young hero is incredibly strong. He's a cancer survivor, long in remission, thankfully, and he voluntarily returns to St. Jude to aid in valuable research. His grace, attitude, and inner strength have carried him through many trials in his life.
Ryan is just, I think, like a beacon of light. He is constantly smiling. He has incredible manners. He's a gentleman. And even though he's only in 9th grade, he really carries himself in a very mature way.
Ryan is a 9th grader here at Cristo Rey. His family's from North Baton Rouge.
To me, Ryan is a good person, a wonderful person to be around. It's like, if you sad, he gonna make you happy some way.
When I talk to his family as well, he's a source of great strength and hope for his family, especially his mother. I know she and I talk pretty frequently on the phone, and she speaks to me often about how he helps her through things in life.
Ryan went through cancer as a child, and I believe, you know, he really dealt with it at a very young age.
It really makes you have to take a hard look at who you are as a person and the fragility of who we are and how, you know, like, you never really know how much time you have.
I know the chemotherapy was a struggle for him, and developmentally, while he was trying to learn to read, it was something he really struggled more than other children.
And a lot of these kids, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, can't really read because of the chemotherapy they're undergoing. And so that really impressed me, that he goes into these places that he went through, and a lot of these places where he, you know, are probably very familiar to him, where he maybe underwent chemotherapy, and he reads with them and kind of shows them that, like, you know, there's hope.
One of my favorite things Ryan does is it's called Reading with Ryan, and he goes to local hospitals and pediatric environments, and he reads to children that are going through cancer or going through treatments, because he wants to show them that they can read too.
Ryan Swift is a young hero because he likes to help people.
And I think if we all did a little bit more of that, if we looked at some of the things that we've been through in life and reached back out to those who are going through it, I think the world would be a much better place. That's part of the reason that I'm a teacher, because high school was so difficult for me, so I wanted to make it better for other kids, and I think that's something Ryan understands on a very deep level.
Really, even though this sounds cliche, like change the world. He has a hope, he has a dream, and he really wants to help children and also be an example for others.
A freshman at Cristo Rey, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Smith.
Ryan, you go to Christa Ray.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you told me you have 2 jobs.
Yes, ma'am.
What are those jobs?
For my Christa Ray job, I work at Vivident Graphics, and then on the weekend I work with Mr. Chris at Louisiana Lemonade. We work at the River Centers and all other events.
Wow, and you're only in the 9th grade, so you go to school half the day and then you work.
No, I go to school the full.
The whole day,
Yeah.
the full day. Oh, all right. Well, in your spare time, you have 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now, how did Reading with Ryan get started?
Well, last year my 8th grade teacher, Ms. McDaniel, he gave us an assignment to write a children's book that taught a lesson. So I decided to come up with a book. The name of it is The Pot of Gold the Monkey Stole.
The Pot of Gold the Monkey Stole.
Yeah.
Great. Sounds like Dr. Seuss. You're gonna, yeah.
It talks about being honest and not to steal. And then he enjoyed my book and a few other students, so he chose mine to go read to a few other classes. So I decided I would like to read to like the children that have cancer.
I had no idea you were reading your own original book.
Mm-hmm.
Do you read some other books too?
Yes, ma'am. I read superhero books and sport kids books, kids sports books.
How wonderful. That is fabulous. So, how did you overcome cancer? Was it tough?
Well, it wasn't as tough. My family and I, we had a strong faith. We prayed daily, and I just kept playing basketball. That kept me focused, not to focus on cancer.
So, you submitted some questions. He's ahead of the game here. He said one of the questions was, who is your favorite LSU basketball player?
Tremont Waters, because
Okay, why?
they might think he's undersized, but he still plays with a fearless attitude.
Undersized, but with a fearless attitude.
Yes, ma'am.
Is fearless attitude, is that your sort of attack on life now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you have a great smile.
Thank
You're
you.
always joyful. So, what does it mean to be a young hero? What was today like for you?
It was fun just exploring all these places. My favorite place was LPB because I used to. I was on the TV set and that was cool.
Well, great. I was asking you ahead of time what you did for social media since we're so backwards and don't know enough. And I asked them all to help try out our app that we're using now, but
I forgot to download it.
you forgot to do that.
I'm gonna do it.
Darn. Okay. So, but you said Snapchat is that?
I really don't
You
go
don't
on
do that?
Instagram or Snapchat.
You don't do that?
No.
No. So what advice do you give to somebody who's your age now?
I'm sorry.
That's right. Go right ahead.
Just to keep working hard, be humble, and be thankful for where you're at, and just keep praying daily, and have someone to have your back to give you some encouraging words.
So I've been asking everybody this sort of thing. Where do you see yourself now? You think you're going to go be a doctor? Is that no? Is that, you're
Well,
9th grade, so you don't have to decide yet.
I would like to attend Duke University or Memphis University, but if that doesn't work, well, I want to be an NBA player. But if that doesn't work out, I would like to be a chef.
A chef?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how cool!
Yep.
Are you a good cook?
Get in there.
Get it. What's your favorite? What's your favorite dish to make?
Well, I can't make it, but my favorite food to eat is seafood, crawfish, gumbo, and all that, ribs,
Great.
pork chops.
Excellent. So do you think you're going to
And red
help
beans.
make Louisiana a better place?
Mm-hmm.
Is that one of your goals?
Yes, ma'am.
Giving back is important to you, I take.
Yes, ma'am.
But I also see that you specially designed a Reading with Ryan T-shirt.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
You probably have them for sale out in the lobby. No.
I'm trying to get that started to get it in sale.
Okay. So what do you intend to do with the T-shirts? Yeah.
I would like for some of the money to go to St. Jude and Our Lady of Lake.
Excellent. So I guess when I look at all of these outstanding young people, you've got to visit with one another. What do you think makes a young hero?
Just to be yourself and be humble and just keep working hard to reach your goals and to help others, to inspire them to get to their goals as well.
So you've been a great inspiration to us today.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Louisiana's frequent natural disasters have affected our next young hero. In spite of the disruptions to his life, or perhaps to spite them, this young man has become a tireless organizer and volunteer advocate.
Cade Canepa is a very special young man. He is Live Oak High Student of the Year. Not only is he Live Oak High Student of the Year, he's also Livingston Parish Student of the Year. But he's an incredible young man who is not only intelligent, he has a 33 on the ACT, has taken at least 12 AP classes, passed all of those AP classes, but he's a wonderful friend, a volunteer, just a person to be around. He's always looking out for everybody else more so than himself.
Cade Canepa to me he's a great friend, he's very kind, he's humble in everything he does.
When I think of Cade, I think of just a genuine person. He genuinely wants to help other people, and he makes it his mission to seek out, ways to help.
During the flood, he was very instrumental in, going out and organizing our different clubs. Let's hit this subdivision, let's go to this subdivision, let's help, some of our elderly in the community who don't have a lot of support. Let's help them gut their houses out, that type of thing. So he was instrumental in organizing different organizations to go out and do that as well.
But I know definitely throughout the flood that there was times whenever I know he would be working all day long and he'd be so tired from helping people out that he wouldn't want to go to friend group things, which I understood because I was helping people too, and I know it was a very tiring task.
Cade moved to us from after Hurricane Katrina, so his family was displaced and they moved here to Watson. We're very blessed to have had them here, and I think because of some of the trials he's had to go through, he really wants to give back and to help others.
The things that I know that Cade has accomplished, he's been our Key Club president for a few years now, leading us and guiding us through tons of community projects that we've all enjoyed, and I know brings a smile to his face, and he loves bring a smile to other people's face.
Our students who don't have enough food at home, we already try to have a room where they can go and they can shop for groceries at their house, so he's gotten really involved with Mighty Moms, distributing all that to make sure that every student in our district, in our community, has something to eat, whether it's on the holidays, the weekends, just after school. He's that type of person who's always looking to see how he can give back.
He's one of the kindest friends I've ever had. He's always looking out for everybody.
If ever there was a student who should be named a servant leader, it would be Cade Canepa.
Cade Canepa is an inspiration to not only young people, but adults as well. He gives of himself, he gives of his time. He's always going, always doing for others. Even on the weekends, at night, he is not waiting for someone to come to him with a project. He makes those projects happen, he creates them. That is who he is, and that's why he's deserving of this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cade.
I just asked what that last picture was. I thought maybe he was restoring all the power that was out, but he was zip lining.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to ask you, you've done so much. What do you do for fun?
I think everything that I do is fun in itself. And so to say, what do you do for fun, I think that's kind of like asking whatever I do.
It's fun.
Yeah, everything that I do is fun. Even those late nights at school, wherever you're staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning just to finish an assignment. I'm just kidding. That part's not fun. So.
I was going to say you're the ideal student. Wow, that's great. So you really helped. I was very impressed with all the work you did around the flood.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you get the big picture on that one and organize the students?
Yeah, so I guess really the way that started was right after the flood and all, my dad and I, we went to our neighbors to help get out their homes right after the flood. Because wherever we live off of a street that was under a mandatory evacuation at 3 o'clock in the morning because the Amite River crested its banks, and by the time that we woke up and all, it was 7 because we were not under that mandatory evacuation. But then whenever we left, the bridge that that the road is on, or that's on our road, we were told was already 10 feet underwater, and we know that the river just like continued to rise, and I'll add for that. And so right in like our immediate surroundings, there was a great need, and so that's really wherever we started. And then whenever my dad had to go back to his work and all, I joined my mom and my sister at our church, and we managed like the local food distribution service and all there. And so that really continued until we got back into school. And even whenever we got back into school, you know, we were still helping those in our community, because Denham, like another large school in our parish, their school flooded, and so we were in class from 6:30 to 11:30, and then they were in class from 12:30 to 5:30 at night. And so just that sense of like helping others and all really continued. And then
Were you surprised that there were people who didn't have enough to eat? That's one of the things you worked on.
Right, yeah. So with Mighty Moms and all, you would think that with some of like the problems facing our country today, that like a food shortage problem would not really be present, but though like it still is. And so as like I learned more like about that and all, that really like surprised me, and it was something that kind of like stuck with me and all too. So yeah, it did surprise me.
Well, they called you a servant leader. Do you feel like being a servant is something that you need and want to do?
Yes, ma'am. I feel like serving others was kind of something that I found throughout my time in high school and all, and it was something that the more that I did it, the more that I realized that it was whatever like I needed to do. And so like I think serving and helping others is something that I definitely plan to continue to do in the future and all. And I think that's probably most evident by my desire to want to become a physician in the future also.
So you're thinking of going to, where in undergraduate school are you going to go, do you think?
That is still under secret information
Secret?
from my family, but though they're all going to find out on Sunday. But
Sunday?
On Sunday, Easter Sunday, yes, ma'am.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, well, you don't want to just tell me, no. No, just our little secret, no, streaming out across the state.
I might just say, go Tigers.
Okay, all right. Well, but you do want to then become what kind of a physician? You even have a specialty
Right,
line.
yes, ma'am. So I really am interested right now in neurosurgery, and I've been interested in like the neurological aspects of medicine and all for a very long time, with like my speech and all, and the obstacles that I've had to overcome with that. But though whenever I worked in the hospital this past summer, I realized that like the surgery aspect and all was really where like the meat, both like literally and figuratively, of like the stuff in medicine is, and so I've kind of switched over to that.
Well, so I was asking all of them ahead of time, and I'm asking you,
Yes, ma'am.
Cade. You did very well in the ACT. You've done really well in school as well as giving back. Do you think you're adequately prepared for college? Do you feel like school's given you preparation?
I feel as though I am more than adequately prepared for college and all. In fact, tomorrow at 7:30, if y'all can all say a prayer, I am defending my research that I've been working on for this past year to our academic panel at school. So definitely a little stressed right now, not just being on live TV, but having to defend my research. So.
Wow. Well, that's very
Yes, ma'am.
exciting. It
Yes, ma'am.
is. I'm sorry we distracted you all day today.
Oh, no. It was fun. It was fun. It was really fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank y'all.
Well, congratulations to you, Cade,
Thank
and I predict a great future for you.
Yes,
We're fortunate to have all these people interested in the medical field here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
All of
ma'am.
us, as we get older,
Yes.
need more doctors. and we tell us one thing. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out to or anything?
Yeah, I'll try to make this quick. Thank you to my mom and my dad for y'all's continued support, my sister Callie, and all my cousins and the rest of my family, my friends who have put up with me for the past however many years, and who have continued and encouraged me to continue to do things to make the world a better place and to overcome my struggle with the stuttering also. So thank y'all to all of y'all.
And thank you, Cade. Congratulations.
A volunteer and advocate for countless charities around the greater Baton Rouge area, this young woman overcame physical challenges and bullying to become the young person she is today.
Nalon Soileau is so much more than a person to me. Like how you said earlier, like that's your best friend. And to me, she's more like family, and she's like a sister.
Nalon Soileau is a young hero for many a reason. And a lot of it is what she does around here with us, but it's more what she's overcome and been able to do in her young life in a short time.
Her trial started, she was born with a condition that I didn't know existed originally. It wasn't until Nalon was 2 and I had a friend over who was a physical therapist who recognized that she was pushing her little cart around the house, and we always attributed it to her being small. However, he said, well, she will never walk. It was a congenital defect that over the course of her few years of life had progressed into where she had a windswept appearance, meaning that her legs were anteverted to the side, and so she would walk with a gait that was on the side of her feet. And we ended up relocating to Memphis at that point in time for her care. With those devices, you can't put them in car seats easily. They aren't able to go into you know, the chairs in the classrooms or the feeding chairs for the high chairs, and so she would often stand. So all of her kids would be seated at the table coloring, and Nalon would either sit on the floor or she'd be standing.
Everybody has peaks and valleys, and you get in those valleys, it's hard to get out. And I think she was able to overcome that in her own life and able to help other people and make it better for her as well as other people.
That's where her true heart comes out, was whenever she helps, especially with disabled children. Because my little brother, he has Down syndrome, and she loves him so much. And out of all my friends I've ever had, Nalon has a connection with him, and it makes me very happy whenever she comes over. She's like, hey, Noah. And they just know how to talk with one another, and it's really sweet.
You know, I've been so blessed to have the people in my life. And, you know, for a young kid to do as well as she does and give of herself after having some adversity, it's from the heart that she does it.
Nalon sees opportunities in our community to give back. She is the kid that's going to run up and ask somebody in the parking lot if they need assistance getting out of their car. She is the kid that's going to carry the groceries for you at the store if she sees that you're unable to yourself. Her willingness last summer to, in addition to all of her sports and activities and her work, to additionally take a Wednesday every week and go serve at the food bank because it was something that she was passionate about, that there were people in the community that needed her to fill orders, to load groceries, to bring them to their cars, to note that we have, you know, adversity in the community that's even bigger than what she had experienced herself.
You know, young heroes are few and far between, and she fits the bill because she gives of herself. So she's a young hero to a lot of people, and I think this is a well-deserving award.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nalon Soileau.
Nalon is unable to be with us tonight as she's on a foreign student exchange trip in Chile, so her mom, Jessica Canning, will accept the award on her behalf. So let's welcome her. So Nalon, I had the privilege of talking to her before she left the country. So we're going to, for just a moment, take a look at that interview we did. So Nalon, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's very exciting to have you as a young hero. And so tell us, though, but you're not with us in person because you're going to Chile. Tell us something about your trip.
So I'm going as an exchange student, and I'm going to spend 2 weeks down there learning about the culture and meeting new friends. I know my host family just texted me a couple of days ago, and she's really sweet. And we're into the same things, and she has dogs, too.
Well, that's wonderful. So we miss having you here. We are so inspired by your story. Tell us about what it took to overcome your disabilities, if you will.
Yes, ma'am. It took a lot of physical therapy,
and a lot of trials that I had to go through with schools and people bullying me through all that. Then once I finally was able to walk and run, I know I joined track, and then one day I came home and was like, Mom, I want to join a pageant. Like, I want to compete. So she's like, I don't know if you'll be able to walk in heels. I know you can run, but we can try it. So it was a lot learning how to walk in heels and trying not to trip over my feet because they still turn in a little bit.
So in addition to overcoming what you've had to overcome, you also, it seems, spend a great deal of time giving back to others. And why do you think that's so important? Tell us about what you do.
I mainly do that because just seeing what I've had to go through and seeing what other people have to go through, I feel that somebody needs to be there for them and really help them through it, because there was few people that really stood there with me and helped me through what I was going through. So I just want to be one of those people that can mentor them and help them through what they're going through. And I feel like God put me on this earth to help other people and help them through problems.
Well, you certainly have had support from your mother.
Yes.
And I know, tell us how important she was to you.
She was always there for me. She was my mother figure and my father figure, because she was a single parent through most of my life. So it's getting me to where I need to go to doctor's appointments and physical therapy. And then when I started sports, it was a lot. And she's done everything, and she still does everything for me.
So what do you see in the future for your life? Where do you want to go to college? What are you thinking about?
I don't have a certain college I want to go to right now, but I do want to go to med school and be a physician. I also want to go to seminary and become a preacher, so I was thinking of doing medical mission trips, and that goes towards helping people also with disabilities in different countries that can't get the help that they need.
Well, I think there's great success in store for you, and I hope you have a wonderful time. I know you're having a wonderful time in Chile, even as we are celebrating you being a young hero, and so congratulations.
Thank you.
Robert Frost might have had our next young hero in mind when he wrote of the road less traveled. For this young man has relentlessly stuck to a path which allows him to help many people as he lives his life on his own terms.
Jamone Williams is the kind of student teachers dream of having when we're young and naive and we haven't gotten in a classroom yet and we think they're all going to be great like this.
If I had to describe Jamone to somebody, I would say that he's hardworking. He tries his best in everything, whether it's school, whether it's job. He's the type of person that would never give up.
He's a bold example of what happens if you take the path less traveled. Jamone, he's a hard worker. He's humble. He's somebody who I respect, who I admire, someone who he's taken all of his adversity, and he really has, every heartbreak, every loss, and he used it as seeds to grow.
I know that Jamone has not had it easy, and I'm sure that that's where he has developed character, and he has gotten this wisdom that surpasses his age. He grew up seeing poverty all around him, seeing homelessness, and knowing how much worse he could have it. He's learned to kind of pass his blessings on to others and be a blessing to those less fortunate.
Having to grow up in a rough environment, having to grow up kind of from humble beginnings, I should say, very humble beginnings, and he's always pushed through.
He had a few difficulties like in school and stuff like that, but over the past years he kind of realized that he had to start studying and understand that school was more important than sports or people that he was around.
On and off the field, in and out of the classroom, he just sets the bar very high. He has done a lot of community service projects, beautifying Sweet Olive Cemetery, spending his weekends out there cleaning up.
Jamone, he helps with the homeless during school. He also helps with when they go out to the food bank and that kind of thing, just cleaning up around the neighborhoods and stuff with Crystal Ray.
I was Jamone's teacher, and he came up with a lot of great ideas about ways to visit the elderly and the sick, ways to use his YouTube channel and other means to drum up community support and kind of execute some campaigns. He does recycling and trash pickup, and
he's a phenomenal example of really giving back. I mean, anything you ask, he's a happy servant, and he does it with a smile.
Jamone is deserving of the term young hero because he's a hard worker. He's willing to go over and beyond than any other student would.
Just constantly working on himself to make himself a calming presence to others and mentor and do anything that he can to continue to lift people up and give them a hand up.
Who is Jamone? Whoever Jamone wants to be. He's the future. He's an innovator. I believe I'm privileged to teach him.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jamone Williams.
Jamone, you told me that you have an entire YouTube channel?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do on that?
I do different like pranks and skits to make people laugh. I do informational videos if my friends ask me about anything that they need or stuff like that.
I see I'm already trying to recruit you to maybe help us with Young Heroes next year,
Yes,
if you
ma'am.
will. So tell us about this giving back, like the Sweet Olive Cemetery. What do you all do, and why is that so important?
We do it because we see how bad it is. We see that no one is going to help out, and we want to really make the community look better, more presentable, not just let it decay and tear down from just all the bad around it already, just make it worse.
So what if everyone did that? Wow, we'd have a better community, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you work as well. You're at Cristo Rey. Do you two know each other?
Yes, ma'am.
You do? Okay, well, great. I want to ask if you like each other. You look up to him, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you work, and you've been working at the same company for a while?
3 years, yes, ma'am, at Lamar Advertisement.
Lamar Advertising. What do you do there at Lamar?
My first 2 years, I worked in AP, but they seen how good of a worker I was, so they started moving me in different departments like BLS, collectible, taxes, AR, those departments.
Excellent. So you, why is Cristo Rey a different kind of school? Because you work, is that it? Yep.
That's a big part of it, but also dealing with the religion, how I get to express my religious beliefs and not be held back and be able to pray, make sure that everyone is prayed upon, and make sure they're doing good with their family also.
So what message do you have for young people? We were talking about that, who are facing some tough times or live in circumstances where they don't have everything they want.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your message for them?
My message for those who may be in need or that don't always think about the bad times, don't be held back by what you don't have now. Just look towards the future and what you are capable of getting through hard work and perseverance.
So you're an athlete too?
Yes, ma'am.
How many sports do you play?
Many. Track, baseball, basketball. I play football, but sadly my school doesn't have a football team.
So did you enjoy going out on the field at LSU today?
Yes, ma'am. Brought back memories.
It did?
Yes, ma'am.
It did indeed. So what do you think, are you always going to give back, you think, the rest of your life? What's your tie to that?
Yes, ma'am, I believe so. In the future, I plan on making enough money to where that I can come back to Louisiana and provide, like tear down old houses and be able to rebuild them like an entrepreneur and put people who may not have enough money to live in a nicer home into a house like that.
You know, I sometimes look at some of the trash we have on streets and just think, why don't we pick up recycling?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that bother you?
Yes, ma'am. It always bothers me. Every time like I see a piece of trash or a bottle on the floor that everyone just passes by, I make sure to pick it up and put it in a trash can or a recycling bin because little stuff like that matters.
Well, we thank you for all that you've been doing, for
Yes,
your
ma'am.
good work in school, and for all of the work you're doing out in the community as well. Congratulations for
Thank
being
you.
a young hero. Thank you.
propels people forward? How does a person become tenacious? Our next young hero may know, but if you don't like hard work, you probably won't like her answers.
Arianna Hannum is a strong and brave and courageous and caring person.
Deeply compassionate, she's kind, she's funny, she's fierce.
Arianna has a spirit of giving and of nurturing and of loving life. She sees the best in people all the time.
Arianna has had a number of setbacks on her personal journey. Her mother died when she was young, I believe in middle school, and her father has been somewhat inconsistent in his ability to be with her as well. He's been in and out of the penal system.
I know that recently, like in her high school years and like a little bit of middle school, she's had kind of an unstable home environment.
Actually, kind of what was the impetus for this nomination is, as you can expect in the college application process, we have to dig pretty deep. And so she had to sort of uncomfortably unearth a lot of her history. And she would often say, look, I'm going to tell you this, but you know, I don't want you to judge, my father. I don't want you to make judgments about my deceased mother. They were really, really, really good people who sometimes made bad choices.
Like, she never ran away. She didn't ever give up. She was always there for other people when she didn't have like a stable support system.
Arianna, in my opinion, is truly a young hero. She's been really committed to a volunteer program. I think it's called Inspired Living. She works with the elderly who have suffered dementia, and she's committed a lot of time to this cause. She's done the same through what we call Plus. It's our after-school program. And even there, she's a standout. These are young children that she's on a typical day, again, on the surface, just playing with. But the way she's able to help them understand that there's something bigger, there's more to their existence.
Arianna is special because she has such joy for life. She sees the positive whenever she can, and she focuses on that and brings joy to other people.
So she's never, not only not thinking about herself, she's never dwelling on her circumstance, and she sees joy in everyone and every opportunity, and so I think that makes her a real hero.
Arianna is a young hero because she can do things joyfully and help others see good wherever she goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Arianna Hannum.
Arianna, I love that they called you fierce and also a joy in life. Do you think those are both correct adjectives about you?
I would say so. I try to make myself as positive and outgoing towards everyone and everything I see.
So you work sort of with the two extremes. You work with the elderly and then the very young too.
I never thought about it that way, but yeah.
Yeah. Talk to us about why you decided to do those things to outreach.
Well, at Inspired Living, I help the elderly, especially those with severe dementia and Alzheimer's, and it was just really amazing to see how they actually really do struggle, and a lot of people don't realize it, especially young people, because they don't think it's going to affect them, but one day it will. And then with the younger girls, I love them. They're adorable, and I love whenever they smile, and they're so curious, and it's I love being able to help them understand new things in life. So, yeah.
So, Arianna, did you like meeting all your fellow young heroes?
Yes.
How was today?
Today was amazing. I was more than I could have ever expected, and everyone I met was so amazingly sweet and caring, and I'm truly grateful for this experience.
So you had an awful lot of your teachers who think you're just super. Is that a good thing to hear? I'm sure it is.
It really was. they kicked me out of the room whenever they recorded those, and so I didn't know what was gonna be said, and it was amazing.
So what are your favorite courses in school?
Well, I love government, and I love psychology, and like English, and those are my kind of areas I love.
So I thought what you said was very mature, and that is that they aren't bad people, they're just bad choices that people can make. So what can you say to other young people to help them make good choices?
Well, I think just having a positive attitude towards everything you see and do, and like whether you go through something and it may be rough, or if you like mentally or physically are going through something, just staying positive and knowing that like it's just one part of your path, and that there's going to be so many more things ahead of you, and just always stay positive.
So I've been asking some of your fellow young heroes, where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Where do you see yourself out?
Well, I'm studying political science, and so hopefully a lawyer. That would be awesome. And I don't know, just an area of field where I can help people, like help actually like make sure that their lives are better through like whether it's law or community outreach or anything like that.
Well, good luck, because we have a lot of doctors here now. They may need a lawyer too. So we're going to craft the future of Louisiana. Are you going to go away? Are you going to stay in the state? What do you think?
I'm going to LSU next year.
Are you?
So, yeah.
Okay, well, great. Well, congratulations on being a young hero. You're lovely, and we are so proud of you.
Thank you.
All right.
Having to grow up too soon can be detrimental to some people, but our next young hero shouldered the responsibilities of a household while volunteering 20 hours or more per week in tackling a rigorous curriculum at a new and very special school.
William Gaspard is a 12th grader here at LaSalle, Louisiana School for the Agricultural Sciences.
You ask someone what is LaSalle, William is the definition of what LaSalle is.
William Gaspard is an overachiever. He is an awesome kid, an awesome son, an awesome student.
As a 7th grader, they qualified for the National Parliamentary Law Competition. He did the same thing in 8th grade. He's won countless parliamentary procedure competitions. He's the state FFA Vice President representing Area 3. He's our president. He's on the board for some nonprofit organizations. He can do it all.
As FFA president, he leads the student body. He's an example of what we want our children to look like, what we want our children to be. You know, focused on their education, focused on their future, and focused on the community.
Along with his mom becoming ill, and previously she was divorced, William ended up having to take care of his mom, take care of his little sister. I can tell you, William goes online and he pays all the bills in the house. He does the grocery shopping. It fell into place when his mother got sick and he took over.
He's probably the backbone of that household. Diabetes, you know, and just not stereotypes, because you see him, he don't look like he would be an ag kid, but he is. He's 100% all about FFA and agriculture.
He wants to give back. He enjoys helping others. He'll help his fellow students with classwork.
Whenever I think of the term hero, I think of a leader, someone that can lead a group of people. And William, throughout his tenure here at LaSalle, he's been that. He's been a leader since the 7th grade.
William is deserving of the term young hero because he truly is a young hero. in every aspect of life. I think it's just in them. Some people are just born with that talent. You know, maybe it's God's gift, his gift from God.
It's not all about William. It's about the whole. It's about the campus as a whole. What can we do to better the campus? What can we do to better the community? What can we do to better society? I mean, it's all about everyone else. It's not about William. So when you talk about young heroes, in my opinion, it fits for them.
Ladies and gentlemen, William Gaspard Jr.
William, maybe the best for last year. You have a great smile. All of you all have such wonderful smiles. I was watching you all day thinking, wow, what does it mean to be an ag kid? I haven't heard that expression.
Well, usually ag kids are stereotyped as sows, cows, and plows. Where I'm from, we...
Sows, cows, and plows.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Got that.
Where I'm from, we call them yee-yee. So it's very much a stereotype to be from a country setting, sometimes uneducated, sometimes unknowledgeable. But I think that as we redefine what being an ag kid means, I think now it means being a servant leader. I think it believes, excuse me, it means being involved in producing the food and fiber of our country.
And that's what you want to do, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But I understand you want to be in agriculture policy.
Yes, yes.
Now tell us some more about that.
So I want to work inside the government and legislature in order to create fair laws and policies that allow for food to be available at a low cost, and that laws are in place that allow farmers to reach their pinnacle of success each year in their harvest.
Wow. That sounds like a very developed philosophy. Are you also are you running for office too?
Yes.
So you've enjoyed that. You have been a leader through your entire career in high school. So what was it like to be you're with Future? It's not Future Farmers anymore. It's FFA, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So talk to us about the time leading that.
Well, when I began my first ag class, my mom kind of drugged me into school as an assistant principal. I wanted to go to the other high school, but she was like, no, you come with me. So I wanted to fit in, so I had my rubber boots that were a little bit too big, overalls that were too small, and I went in the garden and I got stuck. And I kicked off my boots, I took my overalls off, I said, agriculture isn't for me. And it wasn't until my teacher, Mr. Brandon Sostan, told me, hey man, you have a future in this field. The opportunities are there, but it's up for you to take advantage of it. So then the ball kept rolling. I ran for office in junior high, and then I ran for area office, and then led me up to state office, which allows me to travel around the state of Louisiana approximately 100 days out of the year, advocating for agriculture and putting on workshops for student members and giving speeches and presentations.
Wow. Well, so you've traveled around the state of Louisiana.
Yes, ma'am.
And what have you observed?
I've observed the diversity that we have from North Louisiana to South Louisiana. Agriculture is so different and diverse. The culture is so different and diverse. The people. And I've been able to witness that diversity and how Louisiana is so special, and I'm so proud to call this place home.
Well, how wonderful. So what are you going to tell to others about why they should come to Louisiana? Because, we have a problem of people leaving the state now. So other young people maybe have to venture away to have success. What's your message?
Well, the opportunities are there, but it's up to you to take the initiative to get them. I come from a village of under 300 people, and I'm working towards achieving my goals and my dreams because I took that next step. You go to Texas, you go to Missouri, you go to North Carolina, the same issues exist. They're there. Wherever you go, you're not going to get away from them. But it's up for you to take yourself out of that environment and to take that next step in initiative.
Well, you're inspiring me. That's fabulous. All right, so talk to me a little bit more about what it's like in an average day for you, because you travel around. You travel around a lot. What's the name of the little village you're from?
Mooresville.
Mooresville. It only has 300?
Right about.
Right about 300.
3 square miles and stop sign and 1 highway.
Okay. Then do you want to travel too?
Yes, that's why I want to pursue a career in international agriculture, because I want to be able to, travel and get that exposure that's not in the traditional rural setting. I want to learn about agriculture all over the globe and see how we can take those practices to increase sustainability in our country.
So in terms of helping others, you have some fellow people here who care about feeding the hungry, taking care of the poor, doing other things. Did you find some compadres here?
Oh, definitely. I know we were talking about biomedical engineering. Agriculture, we produce those products that are used in biomedical engineering, so we could possibly partner with our doctors and our lawyers to make sure we have those correct policies and medicines in order to get them to people at an affordable cost and at a fast rate.
Well, I know that your family appreciates you for all you've done for them. It sounds like you really have been doing a wonderful job. And is there something you'd like to say to the people who nominated you?
I just want to say thank you to Table 5 right there. You guys are truly an inspiration. I want to thank y'all for being there, throughout all of my life. I recently lost my father 2 weeks ago, so I've been a rough time, but because of a support system like them, I'm able to continue each and every day in my pursuit to be successful and to make them proud ultimately.
Well, we are all so proud of you. You have an awful lot of people here who are so supportive of what you're doing, and we thank you for what you have already done. You're truly a young hero. Congratulations. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give another round of applause for our 2019 Louisiana Young Heroes.
At this time, we'd like to invite Rotarian, Young Heroes Committee member, and President and CEO of Neighbors Federal Credit Union, Steve Webb, to the podium for a special announcement.
Wow. That's not in my notes, by the way. I just thought that one out. You guys are amazing. There's obviously a lot of hope for Louisiana with these young heroes. What an amazing group. Tonight we're celebrating the 24th year of honoring young heroes in the state of Louisiana. And for the first time, we have a special announcement for the class of 2019. Because for the first time, all of our honorees will receive a tuition assistance grant to assist them with their educational expenses as they further their education. Thanks to the generosity of the Louisiana Credit Union League and the affiliated credit unions all across this great state, each honoree will receive a check for $1,000 for future educational expenses. At Rotary, we discuss service before self. As a credit union professional, our philosophy has always been people helping people. Obviously, these two ideals are about giving back to our communities, the communities where we live, work, worship, where we raise families. I think it is safe to say, after listening to all these interviews and your stories, that these young heroes have already adopted these ideals and they're living it each and every day. And I know personally, I think we all have a lesson to learn that we can do more as individuals. So congratulations to each of you. Okay. So again, thank you for the generosity from the Credit Union League, and congratulations to our 2019 honorees. I think a class that we'll remember for quite some time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You know, We are honored every year by meeting these amazing students, and at this time, though, we would like to recognize Emily Schmidt Liuza, our Louisiana Young Hero from 2000, to recognize the former Young Heroes with us tonight. Here she comes. Thank you, Emily.
Good evening. Once a young hero, always a young hero. I'm honored, I'm going off script. I'm honored to be in your presence. LPB and the Rotary Club of Baton Rouge want to know how you are and what you're doing. The easiest way for us to stay in touch is to follow the Louisiana Young Heroes on Facebook by liking our page. Let's now recognize our Young Heroes family in attendance. If you are a former Louisiana Young Hero, please stand or raise your hand. You can read about what these young heroes, along with a number of others, have been up to with the updates on the table. Thank you.
Well, Emily, it's lovely to see you. I see them when they're in high school, and then they come back, and they're just beautiful like this. Well, thank you all so much. It's been a great evening. I want to thank the Rotary Club members and staff for their hard work and undying support of the Louisiana Young Heroes program. Another round of applause for my co-hosts, Lauren and Blake Fowler. Thank you. Now, I would like to thank each and every person here tonight for coming as we honor these inspirational young heroes. And I want to share with you all that LPB will broadcast the 2019 Louisiana Young Heroes Award ceremony on Friday, May the 3rd at 8 p.m., so please tune in. We wish you all safe evening and safe travels if you're going home. And may we one more time give a round of applause for these truly outstanding and really wonderful young people that we've had with us tonight. It's been a great evening for all of us from LPB and the Rotary Club. Good night. Thank you.